Hey, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Coaching for Coaches. My name is Denise Walsh. And before I dive into today's content, I want to say a big congratulations to Georgia, who won our book and action tracker prize from last week. I'll message you and grab all of your details. But congratulations. The goal for the Dream Life Journals and Action Tracker is, again, to help you actually follow through on the things you say you want to do by taking that big idea, getting it out of your head, breaking it down into smaller bits, right, that you can put on your calendar so you can actually do the things that you say you want. I work with people all of the time who are desire change, but it feels too hard, it feels too big, and then in essence they don't do it, right? Because it feels like it's too big of a step. So with the journal and the action tracker, Georgia, you are on your way to experiencing success. So again, today we are going to do another drawing. So be sure to comment below, share where you live, your name, any aha moments from this episode, and I'll do a drawing next week as well. All right, so welcome back to another Coaching for Coaches episode. My name is Denise Walsh. I'm a clinical psychologist turned dream life coach, and I'm going to share with you one of the most important things that we as coaches, as counselors, as therapists, as team leaders need to do while we're creating change with our clients. Now, if you're in network marketing and you're in leadership, this is important for you because you're working with volunteers, right? They don't need to be there. They can leave immediately. If you are a coach, guess what? People are choosing to spend their time and money with you. But that doesn't mean they're committed to doing the actions needed to create change. People don't innately resist change. I mean, as you know, change is outside our comfort zone. It raises our fight or flight mode. We will resort back to what we understand. But part of that is they don't just resist the essence of being changed or of changing. They resist the pointing the finger and the need to be changed. Now, hear me out, right? If somebody were to say to you, all right, you need to run 3 miles a day for the next 6 weeks, what would your body say to that? Would your body be in instant agreement? Maybe, depending on your goals, right? But what if you as the client were to say, all right, I'm going to run 3 miles a day for the next 6 weeks? How does that shift your defensiveness? How does that shift your willingness to add this new challenging thing onto your calendar? The reality is that when it's your own idea, you will innately follow through, and when you're held accountable. So that's like the double whammy, right? It's got to be your idea, but having outside people helping you hold you accountable will help ensure that you actually do it. So we don't want people to just say they want to build a business or just say that they want to shift their life, change their job or whatever. We want actual real commitment. And so how do we do this? The buy-in comes in, right, when it's their idea and it's their decision to take action and it's their decision of what action to put on the calendar. So I'll give you kind of some few examples, right? If you are in network marketing and somebody joins your business, what we're asking them to do is to create new business building habits throughout the course of their day so that they can consistently generate leads, follow up with leads, and sign people onto your team. Okay? Anybody can build a network marketing business. Literally. I really do believe that anybody can be successful in business, of course, depending on the product and, your niche and all of these things. But the question is do you want to be? So the buy-in comes in from asking your people, why did you get started? How much do you want to make? And what does that mean to you? Why do you care about your business? Because I can't care more about your business than you do. Am I right? Or you're working with a coach or a client who wants to lose weight. All right. So tell me, Why did you say yes to this program? Why is losing weight important to you right now? What would it look like to have lost the weight that you want to lose? And why is that a dream for you? So there's two things that we do here. We wrestle up here. We help them to say, all right, why are we no longer staying here? And we say, what's the dream? What's the vision? What do you really, really want? And there's a couple ways that we can do this. First, when we talk about staying here and all right, why did you say that's enough's enough? It's time for you to join 90 Day U-Turn. Or why did you say, all right, enough's enough. I'm finally going to get certified and start my coaching business. Tell me more about why now? Why now? And here are some of the questions you can ask in order to elicit some of this conversation, right? So what was it that caused you to say yes today? What was that rock bottom moment for you? Or let's imagine for just a minute that everything stays the same. And in 1 year, you're in the same place, doing the same thing, asking the same questions, feeling that same restlessness. What would that look like? What's the cost of staying the same? I think this is a really interesting conversation because our natural instinct is to say things like, well, I'm fine, everything's fine, it's fine. But our house is on fire. I'm sure you've heard me say that before. No, it's not fine. Why is it not fine? Let's really talk through why it's not fine. And it's okay that it's not fine because you're in this space where we're going to do something about it. But let's get real and raw about why it's not fine, why you said yes now, why you're saying, all right, this is it. I'm drawing a line in the sand, I'm stepping over it, and I'm not going back to the old me, those old patterns. So step one in this psychology of ownership, of really getting your clients buy-in, is to say, why is today the end of the rope, right? Why am I not going to go back to those old patterns? What's the cost of staying the same? And then the second piece is to say, all right, where are we going? All right, so all right, you don't want to stay here anymore. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're sick and tired of being in debt. You're sick and tired of, of feeling overweight or not fitting in your clothes, or you're sick and tired of saying you want to build a business but actually not doing the things needed to do it. We're done with that. We've really created and strengthened the desire for change by saying, no, we're not going to stay here anymore. The cost of staying the same is too great. All right, so what's the flip side of that? The flip side of that is, what do you really want? What does your vision look like? What does your business look like? What does it look like to have, 5 to 10 clients a month that are paying you to support them, and they're getting change and they're feeling transformed and they're having aha moments, right? What does it look like to hit the pin levels in your business? What does it look like to pay off debt? Let's fully imagine the success and excitement you're going to feel when you are hitting your goals, feeling your best, having healthy habits, and making the decisions needed to hit your goals. And I think this is, again, all of these are really important questions, because a lot of times people will say, I don't really know what I want, right? I just know I don't want to be here anymore. All right, so what do you want then? And this is why we take some time to talk through it. What do you really want life to look like? If it were your dream 10 life, what would that look like for you? Tell me about your dream day. What are all these this is why we have tons of exercises to choose from, to help clients get into their brainstorming mode, into their creative mind, so they can start seeing a new vision for themselves. They can start seeing a new vision for themselves. And then, after they're super excited, all right, here we go. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to step outside my comfort zone. I'm ready to take new action. I'm ready to follow up and message people and, build my program or ask them to be my customer. The next question you ask, is there anything stopping you from doing the necessary action today? What's stopping you? Right? Really? What's stopping you? And after we've done this, we're getting their buy-in, we're talking about the cost of staying the same and creating a vision for what's to come. The question then is, what's stopping you from getting started now? Well, the answer should be nothing, because I'm so committed to my vision. I'm so committed to where I'm going to go. I'm so excited about what's to come. So nothing is going to get in the way of me taking steps to go there, to take steps in that direction. And then the final question is, all right, well, what can you do today to take you there? Let's brainstorm that action specifically. Because again, guess what? If it were easy, they'd already be doing it. If they already knew what action to take, they wouldn't need your help. And so we're wrestling up here. We're creating a vision for the future. We're getting their commitment. We're not just getting their wishy-washy, second-guessing, unsure, I don't know. We're getting the decision. We're getting them to kind of take a step over that line and say, yes, I'm committed to doing this new action. So let's figure out what that new action is. And this is, again, where we take that big vision of what it is, losing weight, building their business. You know, sometimes it's like, all right, clean your room. Like step one, make your bed. You know what I mean? Like we got to take that big vision and break it into smaller steps. So if you're a health coach and you're asking, this is a good first session for you. What's the resistance? What's the thing that's keeping you stuck? What's this like rock bottom moment you're in right now where you're saying, heck no, not staying here? What's the vision that you have for yourself? Are you committed to doing it? And what is one thing you can do today? Now that just might be as simple as drinking a gallon of water or drinking more water than normal, right? Figure out what that is. It could be going for a 3-mile walk. Figure out what that is. It could be meal prepping or, going grocery shopping to meal prep. It could be like you get to help them figure out what's reasonable for them, where it feels like a new habit, but it's not going to totally overwhelm them, where they shrink back into, what's comfortable. If their goal is to build a business, all right, you've done the process, you've done the cost of staying the same, you have a vision for what's possible, you've gotten the commitment, and now you're saying, all right, what are you going to do today? It could be a post. It could be a message. It could be message 10 people. It could be text your 10 friends. It could be schedule a party and invite people to it. It could be join a networking group. Like there's a lot of different actions that will take you where you want to go, but you got to do it consistently in the same direction in order to get there. And that's where us as coaches, as leaders come in, because we get to help take that big dream that clients and team have, and we reverse engineer it into small steps. And guess what? That small step is now not just, taking them to their goal of losing 10 pounds or taking them to their goal of hitting diamond in their business or it's now connected to the bigger purpose that you've already identified, right? What is their dream life? What would life look like if they pay off debt? What would life look like in their own home, or, they pay off their car, or whatever the vision is? Now that small action that maybe didn't seem important at first, maybe even last week before this empowering conversation that you've had with them, maybe before then it didn't even seem important. They'd think things like, oh, it's not going to work anyway, or who cares, or this feels too hard. But now that you've done this work with them, that small step feels so exciting. It feels like it's taking them where they want to go. They feel connected to that daily action because that daily action is connected to their personal vision. Guys, if we don't do this step, literally, we're just telling people what to do and they don't even want to do it. Literally, like we could say to somebody, do you want to stop complaining? Like, do you want to live a life you love? Do you want to have a good relationship? Do you want to lose 10 pounds? Do you want to build your business? Do you want to be pain-free? Do you want, that's really the question of one of our first sales calls, and our first session is getting that buy-in of saying, yes, this is something that's important to me and I'm going to make it a priority and I'm going to actually follow through because this action is connected to my bigger vision. How can we miss this step? We do. We miss this step. We assume that just because they're at our job, or just because they said yes to the program, or just because they joined our team, that they're already in. We assume that they already want life to be better. But that's not quite true. They might not quite be there yet, right? And so we have to enlist those conversations to help get them over the edge. For just thinking about it, putting a toe in, I'm kind of sort of maybe thinking, to like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And this is what coaching does, you guys. Coaching is not just rehashing the past. Coaching is not just, teaching, right? It's not just me saying, here's what you need to do to have success. Coaching is getting you to talk through your own life, your own barriers, your own dreams, and putting your dream on your calendar. And if it were easy, my friends, you would already be doing it. But that's why we all need coaches. We all need somebody to help us create the space to pull it out of us, to ask ourselves these important questions so we can answer it for ourselves. Like, these are things we just don't think about on our own, That's why coaches are so important. So whether in network marketing, it's not just about sending out a script and saying, go do this today. Like, these are the important questions you have with your team, so you're deep with them, so they feel connected to you, so they know that if they don't show up, you will notice, okay? And then as a coach, in whether you're a health coach or a life coach or a trauma coach or whoever you're coaching, you have to ask them, do you want to be here? Do you want life to be different? Do you want to respond differently to your mom? Do you want to, right? If you want to, I've got all the resources and tools, and I'll support you in doing that. But if you don't, we're just spinning our wheels together. So step one, this is like an important piece to the puzzle that oftentimes people miss, is to invite our clients into the coaching world, into the commitment, by getting them to say yes. Now, you can take this a step further. If you're working with team or culture, community, when I'm creating something for my community, what I've learned to do is to give them options. Like, hey, what about this, this, or this? Get them to say yes. Get them to buy in. Get them to say, and then I can go moving forward based on their recommendation. Guess what? I was probably going to move forward already, but instead of saying to the team or to the community, hey, here's what I have for you, you can get their collective buy-in by asking them for feedback, asking them questions, giving them like a poll, and allowing them to be a part of the creation process. If they're a part of the creation process, then they're more apt to commit to it themselves and get their team to commit to it as well. I don't know. What do you think, you guys? I think this is one of the most important pieces of the puzzle. And I think that oftentimes we just assume people are here because they're in our world, when in essence, they might not be. And in order to get there, they need to have these empowering conversations. So I'm going to go ahead and check the comments, see if there's any comments here on Facebook. If you are listening to our to the podcast or on YouTube, welcome. Glad to have you here. And I am please be sure to join our free Facebook group. I go live every single Monday. I love interacting with you. I see Georgia's listening live. Welcome. Hey, Margaret Ann. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you here. And Carrie, I know she's creating a program right now for chronic pain. And I think this is a really great first session for you, Carrie, to say, all right, it's been a habit for you to be in pain and to talk about being in pain potentially, right? Like, that's a habit for a long time, for decades potentially. So are you willing to let go of the victim identity, of the of the complaining, of the like, are you ready? Are you wanting to be pain-free? Which means we let go of the identity of being filled with pain. I think that's an important conversation, because oftentimes clients are hanging on to that identity whether they know it or not. So, all right, great conversation. Let me know your thoughts, your aha moments, any questions that you have, post it here in the comments. If you're listening on YouTube or on the podcast, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, you know what I mean? Leave a 5-star review. I love hearing from you, and I'd love to know a bit more about what you want to learn about next. My goal here is to give you, coaches and leaders, content that's going to help you in what you're currently doing. But I do have a program that's about to brew. It's a pop-up mini mind called Dream to Done. And this is for anybody who's had the program brewing inside of them for several years, but you really don't know how to package it. You aren't sure how to structure it. You need to process and talk through how to actually get your program out into the world. This is a 6-session mini mind cohort where you get 6 one-on-ones with me, plus community, plus some go high level funnel stuff that will include, and you get all of that for a low ticket, lower than my normal pricing. So be sure to comment, reach out. Mini Mind, it's only available for the month of October. So I'd love to connect with you there and get your big idea out of your head, into your calendar, and out into the world. Have an amazing day, you guys. Dream big. See you next time.